Hi everybody, welcome to Laura Whitaker's Sketches Reimagined for this week. Here is the sketch we're going to be using today. We're going to do a little bit of mixed media, a little bit of stamping. I'm going to be working with Simple Stories Forever Fall Collection, which is an older collection from a couple years ago, but I still have loads and loads of it in my stash. I've set aside some die cuts, and I have these beautiful cut files from Cut to You. These are I think they're called the oak leaf cut files. The sketch calls for 3 photos. I'm going to be doing 2, and I'm going to be playing with that stencil as well. I am showing you here the papers I've chosen to kind of play with and work with on my layout. So let's get started with the stenciling. So I'm going to stencil right onto this pattern paper. I'm just going to take the branding strip off. And we can start stenciling. So this stencil is from Cartabella. It's from their summer camp line. It's really, really delicate. So instead of trying to washi tape it to my page or trying to get perfect stenciling, I just want a little bit of texture. This isn't the kind of stencil that you can use to get a really good stenciled impression. This is one that you can kind of move around a page, do little blobs of, and just get a hint of that the texture, which is really cool. It's called a stick grid, and it is a really cool stencil. It does give a lot of fun texture to a background. So I am following the sketch in some respect. I'm kind of looking at where the photos are and the mixed media that's behind the photos. I'm using speckled egg, crackling campfire, and ground espresso distress oxide ink, and that's what the colors that I'm putting through my stencil. And then every so often, as I am stenciling, I'm grabbing these cut files, these leaves, cut file leaves from Cut to You, and I'm kind of placing them over. I want the ink to be kind of underneath the leaves. So I'm not going to back the leaves. I'm going to leave them exactly the way that they cut in the black cardstock. And I'm just going to go ahead and add some more stenciling to different areas. I'm looking at color, kind of know where my pictures are going to go. So I am doing some stenciling and then pulling the stencil up and then putting the leaves down and then doing a little bit more stenciling until I'm happy with how it looks. Once I'm happy with the ink placement and the stencil, I'm going to go ahead and tack all of these cut files down with some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. So these are really delicate cut files because I cut them at a small size. And so what I'm doing here, you can see I'm kind of just taking areas, putting some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive down, mostly on the areas where I'm pretty sure my photos will be. And then I'm kind of smooshing it around just to get those leaves kind of tacked down well. So now what I did was I'm grabbing 2 of my favorite shimmers sprays, Hot Fudge, which is a Vibes, and Glorious Days, which I think is a Vibes too. Anyway, they're both really shimmery. I have these big round paintbrushes, and I am going splatter crazy. So I am not someone who likes a little bit of splatter. If I'm adding splatter to a page, it's a statement piece, and I want you to notice it. I don't want a little bit of splatter. I want the splatter to be incorporated in the overall design of my layout, and I want it to be an element. I use Nouveau or Sequins for those last little bits. I don't use splatter. Splatter is more of a statement on a page if I'm splattering. So I'm just going to use both of these paints, and I'm just going to splatter like crazy till I'm happy with how it looks. Another thing that is really interesting is that the shimmers will react to the oxide inks, and it will create a really cool effect on my page. Now I'm going to go ahead, set that off to the side, let it dry, and I'm going to do some stamping. So this is I have just a piece of scrap cardstock from another project. It's probably my Cardstock Warehouse Speckle Tone Starch White cardstock. I would think that that's probably what the one it is. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this stamp set from Chamel. So this is the one she sold on her website. She had them up for pre-order for a while. I posted them on Facebook. I told everyone to go buy them. So hopefully you did, because I love it and we're going to be using it, and I feel really bad if you can't get one. I am going to go ahead, I'm going to stamp the pumpkin 3 times with Altenew permanent black ink, and then I'm also going to stamp some of the leaf stamps that are in the stamp set. Some of the stamps have a layer that goes over them. For example, the pumpkin has a little pumpkin layer, and so does one of the leaves. So to add a bit of color, I just used the Crackling Campfire oxide ink, so it matches the ink that's on my page already perfectly. I probably stamped the inside of the pumpkins each twice, and then I stamped one of the inside of the leaves with some speckled egg cardstock. And once I stamp these, I'm just gonna fussy cut them out. So now our background is dry, all of the oxide is dry, all of the splatter is dry. I kind of showed you there. I hope you kind of saw it, all the texture, but you can also see it in the close-ups at the end of the video. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my photos and this paper, and I'm going to trim these photos down. So I ended up trimming my photos down to 3.5 by 3.5. And then for what the sketch calls for 3 photos, I'm using 2, and then for the area where the 3rd photo is supposed to be, I'm going to take this 4 by 4 cut apart. I'm going to use 2 of the cut aparts, and I'm going to kind of cut them down a little bit. So this small bit is going to be, I cut it down to 3 by 3. Then I'm going to cover up the sentiment that's on this second one, so you just have that text. And then I'm going to cut that one down to 3.5 by 3.5. And then what ends up happening is I kind of have this matted area. The top card was a little too dark. I wanted to give it a light colored matte around the outside. So this is how I decide I want my layout to be. I have these 2 photos and then that little kind of cut apart piece. I'm going to glue this 1 photo and the cut apart piece straight to the paper, and then I'm going to mat or use some foam tape and pop the 3rd photo up. And then I can start to embellish. So I had fun, so much fun embellishing this layout. I did some pretty kind of layered clusters. I hope that you like it. So while I kind of work through that, decide where I want to put everything, we have a few guest designers to mention. So I have Crystal Barrett from Pineapple Papers, Christy Harriman from Christy's Beautiful Life, and Christina Sorge from Redefined Creative. All 3 of them are joining me today and playing along with this sketch. I think most of the other girls, their videos are going to go up before mine. So I will be sure to link their videos down below so you don't miss them. I'm going to use this now to totally change up into something else. I'm going to use this little hello tag and the number 14 as my title. So my title will be Hello 14 because these were my youngest son's 14 kind of yearly photos. And let's not even talk about the fact that he's 14. We're just going to like skim right over that. You are more than welcome to head over and check them out. I have said this before, but I'll mention it one more time. I still have some spots open for guest designers later in the spring of next year. So if you are interested or you think you'll have time or you'd like to guest design and play along with a sketch by Laura Whitaker with me, you can leave a comment down below. If you are following me on other social medias, you can send me a private message and we will get you scheduled. I think I have all my guest designers for the next 3 months. It's so it would be from March on. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm taking all these fun little clusters and embellishments and just having a nice play. I tend to, when I get to a point like this collection, I really want to try to use some of it up. And I just thought that it worked really well with all these little bits and pieces. And because he's my little boy, I'm adding that fox. And I'm also getting my head in the way. Sorry about that. And now I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing things down. So when I am gluing anything down straight to a mixed media background, I use wet glue, which is why you can see my Nuvo is out. For some of these die cuts, I'm going to pop them up using the foam tape. So this foam tape, this is the foam tape that Jody from Spiegel Mom Scraps was able to get locally manufactured from her. She sent me sample so that I could use it on my videos and show you guys how awesome it is. When she ships me stuff, I get it within like 24 hours. So she shipped it to me nice and fast. So I was able to play with it right away. I will leave the link, my affiliate link, in the comments down below. You can grab this tape from her shop on sale for, I think it's on sale now through Black Friday. And this was really nice tape. So the big roll that's in the shop, now this is just a little sample. This isn't what you'll get. This is the tape you'll get in the mail, but it will be a much, much larger roll. And so I just had this sample to be able to try, and I love it. It's a really, really thick tape. I mean, high, like it adds a lot of dimension. It's not a thin foam tape. It's a nice dimensional foam tape. And this is the first time I used it, and I was really impressed with it. I thought it was really good quality. It cut easy. It wasn't gooey, like it wasn't gooey or gummy. I don't know if you've ever had that where they're like gooey or gummy. She sent me some red line tape too, and that stuff's really awesome. You'll be able to see that in some upcoming videos this week. But you can definitely grab some from the Spiegel Mom Scraps shop, and I would love it if you would use my affiliate link because it will help. It helps a lot to support my channel. So, okay, I am just adding all these embellishments, all of these little foam tape. The hearts are getting popped out, and you can see like this is super clustered for me. I generally don't go this crazy with clusters, but I was just having a good play and having fun. Now, the sketch calls for there to be a strip across the bottom of this page. I'm going to deviate from the sketch because that's what I do. I'm going to take a strip of this corrugated paper and I'm going to place it down the left side. And at this point in time, my sister bought me lunch. She dropped it off. And I was like, oh, thanks. Awesome lunch. I'm just going to sit here. And then at some point during this voiceover, I move it. Yeah, I move it. I was going to say, I didn't eat it or anything. I waited until this layout was finished before I started eating. But she was so sweet. She bought me lunch from McDonald's. How cool is that? So I wanted to add just a bit more fun to my background. So what I decided to do was I'm taking those 3 oxide ink colors that I used to stencil and to create my background with, and I'm taking some of the smaller stamps from the stamp set, and I'm just adding these little like tone on tone. So like up in that corner, there was a crackling campfire. So I added some more crackling campfire leaves kind of jumping out of the, that's the best way I can think of it, jumping out from that color. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around and do where the speckled egg is jumping out and where the ground espresso is kind of jumping out. And I'm just going to add some small stamped images into those areas of the layout. I really, really enjoy depth and dimension to a mixed media background. I like it when there is unexpected texture and unexpected little things within it that catch your eye. And so I was really happy with how this turned out. Here are all of the close-ups. Please be sure to head over, check out Crystal's take on the sketch, check out Christy's take on the sketch, check out Christina's take on the sketch because they are all different and they're all fabulous. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.